Hello everyone. So I was inspired to do this video because there's a question that I oftentimes will get asked when it comes to living life through the lens of energy. As you guys know, I have now adopted this new frame of mind around how I see the world through the lens of energy these days. So the question that I oftentimes will get is, how do you protect your energetic field? More specifically, people will ask me how to protect themselves from energy vampires, essentially people who tend to suck the living energy out of you. And it's a great question, and I've done a lot of work to come up with some different ways that I can protect my own energy, but then to also make sure that I am not getting swept by other people's energy. Because we're talking about energy, obviously I want to talk about it through the lens of things that I know about energy. So just one aspect of this talk that I want to share with you guys is this idea of law of resonance. It's also called, most people call it law of attraction. So it's this idea that, that we attract people who have the same energetic imprint or frequency as we do. And oftentimes we actually end up being in relationships where we share the same kind of emotional patterns, and then it gets perpetuated. So that's one, right? Like energy attracts like energy. There's also this other idea called mirror neurons. Neuroscientists have discovered that when another person that is within our energetic space, or not even actually even in our energetic space, like someone that we are in a relationship with is experiencing a specific emotion, there's a likelihood that we can also experience that. There's a part of our brain that lights up in the same exact way when we are in the same energetic field. And this is actually what's known as the basis of empathy. We can experience other people's emotions, and that's a good thing because it allows us, we're social mammals, right? Like it allows us to understand how another person is feeling, and consequently we can support one another. So I just share these two elements or fundamentals of energy because it has a lot to do with how you can protect your own energetic space. So what are some of my tips, right? Well, for one, just ask yourself first and foremost why this person keeps getting attracted into your energetic field. So when we call other people energy vampires, we also have to ask ourselves what aspect of ourselves is attracting that energy. Because the reason why we get attracted to them is, in some subliminal way, it's the universe's way of mirroring back to us an aspect of ourselves that needs to get transmuted or needs to get healing, right? And so people will naturally get attracted to us, but it's not about protecting ourselves from that person. It's about mirroring back to us or reflecting back to us an aspect of ourselves that needs healing. So that's one. So just, gaining a little bit of self-awareness, and also just taking on an empowered stand, right? Like we can't keep blaming other people for taking on for impacting our energy. At some point we have to take a much more empowered stand and start to own up to our own responsibility and authorship of our own experience. So that's one. The other thing that I would say is if I'm of the proponent that yes, when someone is an energy suck, the likelihood is that it's good to just stay away from them, right? But I also just looking at the law of resonance, I also caution just this idea of running away from energy vampires, because if you are carrying that energetic imprint, it will express itself in different ways. So you can run away from that specific person, but then also at some point you will keep attracting that another person that shares the same energetic imprint. So it's so important for us, again, to gain a little bit more of self-awareness and to have the courage to start digging within and healing the aspects of ourselves that that externally is being reflected back to us as not an experience that we want to have. So just yes, you can temporarily relieve that by leaving a particular relationship, but it also has to be paired up with healing that aspect of ourselves that are attracting that that energy. So that's one other tip. The other tip too is, according to mirror neurons, right? We can feel other people's energies. One is to just always, like, when you're feeling it, when you're feeling a little bit low and feeling a little bit down, you just have to ask yourself, is this mine? Because oftentimes we don't realize that we're just kind of feeling low and like low vibration, and it's actually not ours. And so the awareness of it not being ours is oftentimes enough to cut off the energetic cord. So just like having an awareness that, like, wait a minute, why am I feeling sad? Why am I feeling blah 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 blah? And if there's really no real reason, like, you just release it and you don't even overthink it. And you just, like, sometimes you're just like, that's right, because I talked to my best friend who's going through a lot right now and I'm experiencing that. We don't have to keep owning or holding on to other people's energies. We can actually fully let it go. The other beauty about mirror neurons is that it's kind of a two-way street, right? We can get swept by other people's energies, or if you have, if you are truly the lighthouse that you can be on this earth, you can also flip it and be the lighthouse, right? Meaning you can shift your own frequency and that person can ride into that frequency. They can align with your frequency. You don't have to meet someone exactly where they are and stay there. You can actually, over time, build capacity to be able to shift your own frequency so that other people can align themselves with your to a higher vibration. And that's the beauty of mirror neurons, right? This is why, like, friendships are so powerful and important, because when somebody else is going through a tough time, you can meet them there, but then you can also, bring them up by encouraging them, or like giving them just by merely even being around you as a light being can oftentimes be enough to be able to bring someone up to your frequency. So those are just like some things that I wanted to share with you guys in terms of how you protect your energy, how you use energy in relation to your community and relationships. I hope that helps, guys. As usual, love and light.